Hi, guys. Good evening, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in tonight's video, I will be discussing what I thought of the big announcement that dropped earlier this morning. I was just telling myself and some friends that my sentiment going into the new year is the one that I'm wearing on my shirt. You can't read it, but it says here, life, finds a way, as quoted by Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park, my favorite movie. And that's my sentiment going into the new year because no matter what I may encounter, like professionally or personally, things usually end up working out. And I guess that sentiment could really apply to the big announcement that dropped earlier today. Because much to my delightful surprise, I read online and through multiple articles that Universal Pictures is now moving forward once again with their Universal Monsters franchise by doing a remake of The Invisible Man, which is pretty cool. That's pretty exciting. From what we know about it, it will be directed by the director who did the recent hit horror sci-fi film Upgrade, Leigh Whannell. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that last name, but again, the director's name is Leigh Whannell. He will be directing and writing the Invisible Man remake, and it will be produced by none other than Blumhouse Productions' Jason Blum, which is super fitting because it was only last summer, I believe, Jason Blum talked about how he would love to take over the mantle of handling the Universal monster movies, and now it looks like he's getting his chance, so that's very, very exciting. Now, unfortunately, the only downside to this is that Universal has seemingly scrapped their plans for their shared cinematic universe, or as they called it a few years ago when The Mummy came out, the Tom Cruise film. When that came out, they called it their Dark Universe. It was supposed to be the beginning of a shared cinematic universe of the Universal monsters. I liked that idea. I loved the concept, and I thought The Mummy was a pretty entertaining movie. I personally liked it. I can certainly understand why other people didn't, but unfortunately, it didn't do too well at the box office or critically, so Universal hit the pause button on it because the next film was supposed to be a remake of Bride of Frankenstein, which never happened. But now we have this exciting development that an Invisible Man remake is in the works, and I believe other Universal Monster films are to follow suit. In fact, I have written right here excuse me, I have right in front of me here the statement from the president of Universal Pictures Productions, Peter Kramer. This is what he said. Throughout cinematic history, Universal's classic monsters have been reinvented through the prism of each new filmmaker who brought these characters to life. We are excited to take a more individualized approach for their return to the screen, shepherded by creators who have stories they are passionate to tell them with. So that means that it won't be a shared cinematic universe. We're not going to be seeing the Wolfman and Dracula and Frankenstein all share the big screen together, as cool as that would be, in my opinion. Unfortunately, we're not going to be seeing that. And if we are, it's going to be a very, very long time. But what he's talking about, how Universal, they seem to get the idea, or they realize that it's probably for the best to create standalone stories rooted in horror for these characters because that's who they're known for. A lot of people criticize the Mummy Tom Cruise film for being too action adventure-y and rather than horror, which I could understand why they would say that. And then, going on, the article also states these new films will all be rooted in horror, but that's about the only thing they need to have in common. The studio's listening to pitches for these characters, and sources suggest there will be no restrictions on budget, tone, or rating. This will allow every character to be given its own unique vision based on the directors at the helm. So that's very exciting. So it sounds like they're doing what Marvel is good at doing, and that's letting their directors, their writers, their filmmakers make their own movie. That's one of the things a lot of people say that separates Marvel from DC, where there's a lot of studio interference, where the studio basically gives the project to somebody who's passionate about it, and then most of the time they usually create a hit film. So it sounds like Universal is trying that same practice, which I'm all for, because that means better storytelling and better movies. Let's see. Did I read that? Oh, here we go. Something else also in the article I wanted to share with you guys. According to the outlet, an insider close to the process says the characters' origins and stories will be freed up for interpretation in an effort to help them appeal to modern audiences. So it sounds like they won't be direct, exact shot for shot remakes of the original films from the 30s, 40s, and 50s, but they'll be loosely based on that. But they'll have their own origin stories to tell, their own introductions, so to speak, which I'm very, very excited about. Yes, I'm a little disappointed that the shared cinematic universe isn't happening anymore. That's too bad. I mean, it's always possible that someday it could happen, just not any time in the foreseeable future. However, that disappointment is quickly eliminated with excitement and thrills, knowing that an Invisible Man movie is in the works, it's on the way, and other classic monster films are to follow as well. I loved these old monster movies growing up. They had a big impact on me, and I'm sure they had a big impact on a lot of other people. And I love the fact that Universal seems to have learned their lesson from their failed film with The Mummy. As much as I liked it, I understand why everybody else didn't really care for it. So it sounds like they learned their lesson. No more shared cinematic universe. For now, they're just going to stick to good old, fun, horror-driven solo storytelling. And I think that's honestly what's probably for the best at this point. So it is all very, very exciting. We're hopefully, so far the Invisible Man is the only one confirmed, but hopefully we're going to get new versions of Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, Creature from the Black Lagoon, The Wolfman, Phantom of the Opera, and so many others. I am so excited for the potential and the possibility, but what I'm really excited for is just seeing a new Invisible Man movie. That classic 1933 film, Claude Rains blew it out of the park. He was phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Oh, and just to clarify a few things for those of you who are wondering, Johnny Depp will unfortunately not be playing the role of the Invisible Man. It was reported about 2 or 3 years ago that he was going to be playing this character, but that was under the pretense of a shared cinematic universe. That is not happening anymore. So now Johnny Depp will no longer be playing the title character. However, it appears that he and the other actors previously associated with the Dark Universe, Tom Cruise, Russell Crowe, Javier Bardem, because he was originally going to be Frankenstein's monster in Bride of Frankenstein remake, and hopefully Sofia Boutella, because I really enjoyed her interpretation of the Mummy. She was a great, creepy, power-hungry character that I just enjoyed seeing on the big screen. So hopefully she can return in some capacity as well. But it sounds like these actors have the option of appearing in these films after all, so it's not like they're completely cut out of the picture, but only time will tell. But for now, the one thing that we definitely do know is that Johnny Depp will not be playing the Invisible Man. So I just want to put that out there for anybody who's confused. So guys, what are your thoughts and feelings on this? Are you super excited and happy that the Universal monsters are making a comeback to the big screen again? Or do you really not care and you're looking forward to other shared cinematic movies? Please leave your thoughts, opinions, and your feedback down below in the comments section. I'd love to hear from everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of the night, and stay tuned and subscribe to this channel for further updates regarding the Invisible Man remake and other announced confirmed monster movies. Also, one more thing, there's no release date and no official title for the Invisible Man. We have no idea when it's going to go into production. All we know is that a director has been chosen, and it's being produced by Jason Blum of Blumhouse Productions. So once I learn more information, I'll be sure to let you guys know. Have a great rest of the night, and of course, until next time, may the Force be with you.